Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Radio Free Wall Street. I am so glad you're here, and it's been a wild day, wild in the oil market. That is just the start of the wipeouts we're having as the favorite pet themes of the market comes unglued. And I had a dilemma. Coming into the show today, I had to decide between two themes that I really wanted to talk to you about. One was Donald Trump throwing the intelligent community of the United States of America on the bus, siding with Vladimir. There was no collusion. And not only was there no collusion, but Vladimir convinced me that they did not interfere in our election in any way. I'm telling you guys, what? We have proof. We have intercepts. We got satellites. We got troll farms. We have the data. I mean, you don't go ahead on a server on Wall Street without leaving footprints. A server on the internet without leaving footprints behind. So that was the story I wanted to do. And of course, I was listening to Hannity and the apologists talking about, the deep state wants to stop Donald Trump from bringing us world peace. Go, what? Say what? Anyone believes that Vladimir Putin is a man of peace? What the shit? Unbelievable. This is the same thing Donald Trump did when he went to Kim Jong-nunchucks and got nothing, gave everything, and declared a victory and went home. I mean, that's how you do this thing. So I was shocked. I really was. And then my second story was the warnings about the IMF and the World Bank about how we are in trouble with this huge war we've got. I had the story about Ron Paul and some of the big fund guys warning about a bubble stock market be wiped out. So I was trying to decide which story to tell. And I realized that, it's the same story. There's no difference. The story is that Donald Trump has started a trade war with our enemies that will turn the recession we're headed to a depression. Donald Trump, for whatever reason, I believe it's because of golden showers and pictures of him doing lewd things with whores, that he doesn't want out, that he is Donald Trump's it's interesting, the Europeans call him Putin's poodle. I call him Putin's bitch. So either way, poodle bitch is the same connotation to me. Donald Trump's been very weak at these meetings. He's given away everything again, got nothing. And you understand what it is. Donald Trump has got to win these elections. And he's got to show that he's doing these great... I went to Putin and no one else stopped the Cold War. And Putin and I declared it's over. Done. Finished. It's peace and love. Kumbaya. I can see them by the campfire right now. Taking peyote buttons and playing their guitars. The fact of the matter is that declaring the Cold War over doesn't make it over. Saying Kim Jong-nunchuck's a nice guy, good guy. He's gone to two of the world's biggest mass murderers, some of the two most oppressive regimes I can think of, who day and night want us dead, building arsenals to attack America. I mean, of course, North Korean Kim Jong-nunchuck's a minor leaguer, but Putin, that is the most fearful man in the world. That is a man who controls personally vast amounts of wealth. He's the world's first trillionaire, guys. He controls all of the net output of Russia. The oil business is a net high profit business, and by letting some crumbs fall off the table to his citizens, he can keep the socialist dream alive. What are we doing? We're going there kissing this guy's ass, saying that I believe him. Of course he interfered. And this is a situation where we are going to end up deeply regretting what Donald Trump's doing. But it doesn't stop there. Donald Trump is also moving ahead in areas that are destructive to America, and that is these trade wars. Guys, please listen to me. These trade wars will affect American companies and American businesses. They will not affect our trading adversaries like you want. It will not bring them to the negotiation table. It is absolutely incredible that anyone even believes that. This is a president who's the greatest menace to America that I've ever known. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said to me, my people in England I talk to really give me a hard time. I go, yeah. I was on the phone in England today talking about kind of rake me over the coals with Donald Trump. And I said, well, let me tell you something. The problem is that when you guys got a king, he lasts for 90 years. Donald Trump may make 4 years, 8 at the most, and he's gone. We'll never see him again, never hear from him. And America's a great country. We can solve another, 6 years? We can stand another 6 years of anything. Donald Trump is going to be history very quickly. When the legacy is written about the Donald Trump presidency, it'll be written like Vietnam. A lot of people were really wrong about Vietnam, and it turned out that history has shown that it's a completely different situation. So this is Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is also going to be a completely different situation. He will go down as the worst president we've ever had. I mean, I'm missing Obama. Can you believe that? Oh, my God. At least Muhammad Obama, he knew where he stood. And it is unbelievable. So Donald Trump is absolutely selling us out. He is moving in the direction of kissing Vladimir Putin's ass, obviously. The Stormy Daniels, yelly shower, spanking on the ass. Who knows what kink? I mean, the guy's a kink. Let's face it. He even looks like a weirdo, what he's into, you know? And like I said, I don't care how somebody wants to handle themselves with their partners. You know, there's no AC, DC, REC, alternating current, low voltage, high voltage, no voltage, male on male, then female, half male, half male. I really don't give a shit. Do whatever you want, as long as you don't involve me and you're hurting other people. I don't give a shit. Soldering irons, chains, whips, whatever, latex, plastic, silicone, rubber dolls, robots, whatever. But it's when you are doing this kinky shit and you don't want people to know about it, that's when you've got a problem. It is obvious to me, and it should be obvious to you, that Donald Trump is very much afraid of Vladimir Putin. And Vladimir Putin has a disordinate power over Donald Trump that is, should we say, putting it nicely, very dangerous, okay? And I don't think Donald Trump, in these deals he's making with Vladimir, and, Vladimir wants to have Mueller come and interview the spies in Russia and all this crazy shit. I don't believe that this will end well, and I don't believe that throwing our spy agencies under the bus was smart. And I think Vladimir Putin is going to take this. Let's see if I'm right. In the next 6 months, Vladimir will again do something in the Russian expansionist policies. Take land, invade, do something very nasty, okay? And I believe that is because Donald Trump, in essence, gave him the go-ahead. And Vladimir is a nasty piece of work. Vladimir regrets daily the fall of the Soviet Union. He wants back the old glory and has so said. And he is building weapon systems. He is arming and building his forces to do just that. To underestimate Vladimir Putin's global desire to be a world dictator means that the next world dictator you're going to miss. You know, we're all looking to see who the dictator king of the North is. It's pretty obvious that, among the contestants is definitely Vladimir Putin. And it is obvious that he has incredible sway over Donald Trump. And he has an incredible push. And Donald Trump is absolutely falling to this guy's arms. And it is obvious to me, and it should be obvious to you, that it's not simply a mind meld, but I think it's financial dealings. I think it's videotapes and sex. I believe that it is money laundering in Donald Trump's buildings by Russian oligarchs. And I also believe that it is absolutely positively the Russians that handed Donald Trump the election. And I think that's Donald Trump's worst nightmare. So you can spin it, blow it, go it any way you want, but to ignore it is really foolish. You're supposed to be smart. You're not supposed to fall for the... Everyone's so unfair to Donald Trump, okay? Donald Trump is a president. You're supposed to attack a president. That's how the check and balances work. And it's kind of like, have you ever seen these guys that have these wooden hammers and check for rotten wood on boats? It's kind of really interesting. And they peck around, and when they feel a soft spot, they keep pecking, and sure as shit, the worms are eating their way through there. And that's kind of like Donald Trump, The more you hammer around, the more you discover, holy shit, there is something really ugly out here, and Donald Trump is really vulnerable. The wood is rotten on the whole, that's for sure. Donald Trump's got himself a problem. He is absolutely, positively making enemies out of everyone. Look, the IMF and a lot of global organizations have warned that, these trade wars he's starting, they will not end up well for America. The jobs losses will be significant. Any of the tax break bonanza for billionaires that help corporations go and doing shit for the individuals are erased. They're gone. Donald Trump is now moving to the twilight zone of undoing everything he can do. Why is he doing that? Oh, come on. You can figure that out. He's doing it because he can. He's doing it because he needs to. He's doing it because it's part of his directive, okay? It is Donald Trump's view of the world. It's Donald Trump's view of how to handle these things. And it is going to end very badly. Okay, now listen to me. Deep state, no state, restate, what do you give a shit, really? Okay? You can't stop it. You can go there and rant and rave and all that crap. Whatever conspiracies exist and globalists and their agendas exist. It's part of the world we live in. The Machiavellian described the damn thing, a long time ago, so it's not like something new. So that's just how mankind and governing people operate. Don't get caught up in that. What you should deal with is the fact that, Donald Trump's got himself a great big problem. And the problem is that he's kowtowing to a mass murderer, a dictator, a very dangerous man, dangerous to America and everything we believe in. And that is something that should concern you mightily. Now, that's the political side. Now, you got another side of this thing. The other side of this thing is Donald Dandy Trump has made colossal mistakes on the U.S. economy, has put us in a position where we are in a recession. Remember, the Fed Reserve was already raising rates. Donald Trump doesn't get credit for that. The Fed was already sinking its balance sheet. But how hard that hits the economy is an issue that has to be decided yet. And the problem is that Donald Trump tried to put through a tax bill stimulus on top of existing stimulus, and now there's no more gunpowder left. Okay, look at that. There's no more dry powder. And now he has done something that is a colossal mistake, and that is trade wars, which are economically devastating events. It's unfair. It's a bad deal. It may be the worst deal in the world, but the problem is that it was a working deal. Do you understand? To get a bad deal and declare it a bad deal and not replace it with a good deal makes the deal you got worse, okay? I've always said this to you, simplistic solutions to complex problems only exacerbate the complex problems. Trade is really a complex problem. There's no doubt about that. And trade has been argued about since, the days of tobacco from America and the cotton and sugar. I mean, there was a great competition, by the way, by the Europeans to replace sugar production out of basically the Caribbean with beet production, which was a winter crop that could grow in the European climate. The beet won. Sugar plantations went broke. Now, that was a trade war. By the way, trade is still subsidized by the United States government. We have a world sugar price. We have a domestic price. So don't let these guys bullshit you, okay? With trade's supposed to be a problem. But going in there and blasting away with your a laser sword is not going to solve the trade problems, not in the least. And Donald Trump has absolutely gone kicking the golden idols of trade, and he hasn't replaced it with anything that can stand up to the test, okay? Mr. Farmer, you're screwed. Mr. Soybean Farmer, let me tell you, you realize the number of soybean farmers and grain farmers are going to go broke? It's going to be an absolute catastrophe. Do you realize the number of factories that you steal that's subject to embargoes coming as part of their operations are going broke? Do you realize how devastating it's going to be what's left of the U.S. car companies? Okay? Do you realize that you're driving manufacturing into the arms of your enemies? Elon Musk, Mr. the Man from Mars, he's already announced that he's got a wholly owned Muskmobile factory building electric cars over there in good old China. No American jobs, no American great again, no nothing, okay? Nobody seems to pay attention to this. These trade wars, and part of Donald Trump's entire psychology, should we say, of the art of the deal, piss everybody else off, take names, throw everybody overboard, is not working. I don't give a shit. Remember, this for me is worth, huge amounts of money. There I mentioned the word billions. I mean, this is crazy shit. This is not going to end up well for anybody. Okay? So you've got him kowtowing to some of the most vile dictators in the world. as the art of the deal. You've got him screwing us up on trade deals. What happened with May and the Queen of England and all that? That is stupidness, okay? We need those people. They need us. Right now you got Britain that is doing Trump's work. They are leaving the Economic and Trade Union of Europe, okay? They've never been part of the Monetary Union. They're being thrown into our arms as a major trading nation, okay? They have a huge, huge economy. They are huge consumers. So what is Donald Trump doing? Well, he's just pissing on them, too. Well, I would think that, the Trans-Pacific Partnership was just the world uniting against the Chinese dirty trade practices. Nobody knows what you want to talk about, okay? So as you go down this road here, you realize that, I wish he had any luck. I know he wants a cabinet position, maybe Medal of Freedom or something, but, do you sell out your country? Do you sell out spy agencies? How far do you think Donald Trump's going to get with pissing off our law enforcement and spy agencies? Let's talk straight here. There comes a point where these charges of treason get pretty serious. There comes a point when people who've got the power to do something, do something. And when people can do something, then something gets done. Got it? And I can tell you that among intelligent thinking people, and the Trump chumps forget. He is a great man. These people just have no mind, okay? But among people that are, should we say, opinion makers, they are really starting to grasp the fact that there's something very wrong here. He is losing support among people, surprising to me, who really supported him and supported the office of the presidency and supported the Republican Party and were willing to put up a lot, okay? And I can tell you that in my conversations with him, things are changing very quickly. People are going, there is a line you cross. It is a line you cross where all of a sudden things are so bad and so dangerous that patriotism really gets above party politics. And people all of a sudden say, we have to deal with this thing. And when that day comes, God help Donald Trump, I would have to say to you that, in my opinion, these past little trips to Europe and this little Helsinki shit has really said to me that Donald Trump has gone too far this time. Hear my words. There may be a deep state conspiracy, okay, and there may be a whole lot of things, but Donald Trump's about to unleash forces that are greater than his, okay? There are people, many powerful people that you don't know about, who very much are concerned with what they see as a Donald Trump who's very rapidly spinning out of control. And I can tell you these people are concerned is too kind of a word now. And these people have the power to, should we say, have their concerns be realized and dealt with, okay? Hear me. This is not a good time to be a Donald Trump. And if certain people in positions of power decide that maybe this impeachment's not such a bad idea, they can make it happen, okay? I'll put it to you that way. And there are certain people that, if it goes too far, it goes too far. And forget the party lines. Too far is too far. A good example was Tricky Dick Nixon. He had a lot of support of the Republicans for many years. And finally, it just got a little too far. And he got a tap on the shoulder and said, Dick, get on a helicopter, give him the peace symbol, and get the hell out of here if you know it's good for you. And he did it, okay? And that was a very strong-minded, strong-willed person that had a lot of clout, okay? He was a very powerful politician. And eventually the weight gets so big and the crisis so large that all of a sudden things come unglued. So old Donald is on a road of, I'll put it this way, self-destruction. I think you're gonna have to, in your heart of hearts, I think you're going to have to deal with this. I think you're going to have to really start getting your thinking, well, okay, there's a deep state conspiracy. Well, Donald Trump is doing enough damage, and Donald Trump is being aggressive enough, and Donald Trump is being, should I say, stupid enough, that he might unleash forces of the deep state that he may not be able to control. And that is a factor that's very much coming into my playbook. I can tell you that the stock market has, as of yet, not calculated in the full weight of these trade wars. The market is not calculated in the effects of polarization. The market is not calculating, it's pretty much an unknown. Putin's pretty much got, remember 007 with the license to kill? Well, Putin's got himself some kind of license. And I have seen many times these kind of things, when I'll give you an example. Remember the open mic situation with Mohammed Obama, where we told Putin to be patient, that he had to wait till after the elections? What did Putin do? That's when he attacked the Crimea. That's when he shot down the civilian jet. Did you forget this? This Hannity Fox News narrative that, well, Russia's just misunderstood. What are you talking about? This is a brutal regime. They are capable of anything. And you know what? Your opinion and my opinion don't count, because these spy agencies, okay, and the hidden circles of power, they can do something about Donald Trump if they want to. And they would hate to, but there is a line, and I warn you, there is a line where bad things happen, and when that happens, all hell will break out, okay? And I can tell you that that conversation, which was only very hushed, is now starting to take place. And I can tell you, people are asking the question, what is with Trump and Putin? How much of a danger is this relationship to America? What should we do with it? Donald Trump has sided with a mass manipulator and murderer in a cruel, merciless regime against his very own agencies. Now, you may not think that's a big shitting deal, but I'll tell you what. To those guys that run those agencies, it's a big deal. And I can tell you the tone just today has changed the most since Donald Trump's presidency. And I think old Donald does not realize how much shit he's got himself into. And I'm warning you again, this backlash. See, when you get the spy agencies, the political guys, and you get the corporate, the real corporate insiders, those seats of power, and you get them aligned, hear my words, shit happens. And shit happens very carefully, very quickly, in a very devastating way. You need to read between the lines here and hear what I'm telling you. So you might want a deep state and all this other shit, that's nice. But there are forces at work that are very powerful, that regard their job to protect America against some crazy shit going on there. And I can tell you, as of today, the voices of moderation are no longer moderate. And the warnings of economic disaster and the shit that Donald Trump's bringing upon us, well, I'll tell you, it is remarkable how fast people's opinions are changing around here. And all I can say is, I wish everybody good luck. And I hope at some point calmer heads prevail. But I'm not so sure that that is the case anymore. So you let that spin around in your brain all you want. And listen to the news and listen to the spin news. But pay attention. Because like I said, this is a significant turning point in American history. And it's a political event. It involves our allies. It involves our military. It involves our spy agencies. And I can tell you, these guys don't like that shit one little bit.